Thank you, Chairman. Well, first off, congratulations to both of you. I think you're both going to do a great job. Congratulations on all the success you've had, and this is a big opportunity for both of you, so congratulations. Dr. Crowley, we hear about actors. We hear the CCP attacking fallen gang members of the United States, American citizens. We hear about Erdogan's thugs beating up anti-Erdogan protesters in the United States. So in this role as Chief of Protocol, what can you do, if anything, about that?
Well, thank you very much for the question and for your longstanding friendship as well, Senator. Appreciate it. The Office of Chief of Protocol does not oversee policy. It executes what the President's vision is in terms of diplomatic relationships, diplomatic partnerships. So that would not be in my portfolio. But if confirmed, I do look forward to following the direction of the President and the Secretary of State on all policy matters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Perdue, Jimmy Lai is unjustly on trial and in jail because of the Communist Party in China. As an ambassador to China, what do you think you can do to put pressure on the regime to release this hero of democracy and human rights?
Well, I appreciated seeing the picture in your office that day. You know, I lived in Hong Kong, as you know, and when that was happening, I made a trip to Hong Kong, and actually we met with some of these people there and here. And what we have to do is stand up for human rights in a way that is a little bit different. You know, China has now become very aggressive. After Hong Kong, you know, all bets are off relative to what they are trying to do. And now it's becoming visible on a much larger scale with the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the WTO, and so forth, about where they're trying to bring malign influence to change the order to a degree in their favor. So what I'm going to do, if confirmed as ambassador, will echo the message from the administration and from the Congress about how important this is to us.
So, Senator, the Communist Party sends fentanyl into the United States, killed 78,000 people last year. They treat the Uyghurs horribly. They, don't follow any trade rules. They never comply with the WTO. It's a despicable government. They clearly want to destroy our way of life. And for the people that they've killed, they clearly have destroyed their way of life and their families. So would you recommend that any American citizen buy any Chinese products or have any Chinese apps on their phone or do any business with anything that's related to Communist China?
Well, I think the realization that our support of China over the last 30 years or more, going back to Reagan, actually, in terms of early investment in developing their economy, giving them access into most favored nation status when they didn't comply, they didn't qualify. Also, the violations in the World Trade Organization we've turned a blind eye to. Those days are over, I believe, and I think we've got to stand up, not just for our own protection, but for the protection of these systems that have served us well since Bretton Woods in 1944 that established the current world order. Going back to Senator Daines' recent trip over there, the only topic that I could see, the major topic that they talked about, was fentanyl. It's trips like that that make a difference, not trying to do trade, but trying to influence changes in their behavior, Senator.
You think she's going to change?
Senator, the issue is what is beneficial to their strategy? What do they want? And if you read what they've been writing over the last 25 years, I don't think he's going to change. The question is, what is his objective and what is he going to be capable of doing? Look, they have a problem. They can't feed their own population. 30% of the people, 30% of the food that is consumed in China is imported. I just said 73% of the oil is imported. They have a real problem right now with unemployment of people under 25. It's over 16% from what I read. If you look at the economy, focusing on state-owned enterprise is a real problem. The realization of U.S. capital now that has been going to China for the last 40 years and not getting the return that we should have gotten, but gave up technology and a lot of other things that went along with it.
So if we stop
that realization is going to really change.
If we stop buying their products, if we stop allowing them access to our market without complying with SEC rules, which we have a law that our SEC is not enforcing, all right? If the American public would show up and say this is wrong, what would happen to the Chinese economy and what would they have to do then?
You bring up a great point. If you believe that this is a new kind of war, it's not Cold War, it's not a kinetic war, it's a different war. And they described it to us in the book called Unrestricted Warfare back in 1999, and they're executing against that. I wrote an article about it a year ago. If you look at that, the way forward is for the United States to become informed about that and to stand up to the challenge. That means that sometimes we'll have to sacrifice, Senator, because what we've been seduced by are the cheap prices that we gave into over the last 30 years coming out of China that were, in some cases, in many cases, unfair because they were subsidized by the state.
But if we stop buying their stuff, what will happen?
Well, if foreign capital from the U.S. stops going into China, they have a real problem.
If we stop buying their product, what will happen?
Well,
If the American public says enough's enough, what will happen to their economy?
It'll collapse.
Right. Thank you.